Dave, it's all you.
Are you recording? All right, we're recording. Hey team, welcome to the Wednesday night 9 o'clock team call. We have an awesome call tonight. We're joining with Team Vision and my sponsoring coach, Joe Petri. And a little bit quickly about Joe. Joe and I met in college. We played college lacrosse together. And he was the leader of our team. He was the guy that would always bring everyone together. So after school, we kind of separated. We kind of went our separate ways. We got jobs. And I noticed my weight started increasing as I got into the working world. And I saw Joe commit to
Sometimes they call on you, Super Pig.
Power 90. And he actually lost, I think it was 40 pounds. He won the November Beachbody Challenge. It was $1,000. He was so excited. He was happy. And we had just gotten engaged and we were looking for something. I needed to get in shape. So Joe was the guy that we went to. He was always there. We committed to the workout. He was there during my time of unemployment. And this thing goes a lot farther than just Beachbody. Joe and I would talk all the time. And it took a long time for me to realize, 6 months to actually join as a coach. And really because I was unemployed, I didn't know about it, but I saw Joe was consistent. He was posting, he was sending his emails, he was always checking in. And then another one of my buddies joined, Brian Smith, who's on the call as well. But I got so amped up for it that we joined for the discount. And then we went on from there. So I'm really excited to have Joe with us. You know, today is actually a really special day because today is 7 years ago was the day I signed up as a coach. And it's incredible to look back over the last 7 years and to where we are today. And so I give a lot of that credit to Joe and always being there for us. So I'm really excited to have him on the call. He's going to share some really good nuggets. We're all going to take some good notes here. And Joe, I'm going to turn over to you now.
Awesome. Dave, that is so cool that you're 7 years of Beachbody coach, 7 years of pretty much that's amazing. So Dave and Regina, thank you guys. That's an awesome introduction. And just so everybody knows what we're doing, like collaborating with Regina, collaborating with Dave. We got the Team Push It coaches. We got the Team Vision coaches. We're going to do this call once a month and collaborate once a month for these calls moving forward. So we can have that kind of mastermind group of different coaches coming together, sharing successes, sharing failures, sharing success. I think it's so important that we do that. And I can't say enough awesome words about Dave and his wife, Regina. Those of you guys who are personally sponsored and on Team Push It and inside that organization, you have some tremendous leadership with these two. You have go-getters, you have people with heart, you have people who will do their due diligence to make sure you guys get the absolute best information and training. So make sure you're following their lead and asking questions to them because you are in great hands because they're just awesome individuals. And to have Dave make that decision 7 years ago to trust me, and there was times where he's been my right-hand man through all of this. Like, if ever I needed something or whenever we just needed to talk, like, Dave was always there. He was a year younger than me in college. I was your host as your freshman host. I was supposed to take care of you, but my roommate Brian did a much better job of doing that than I did. Sorry, Dave. And he still trusted me. He still trusted me to come into business with me. A business that I knew nothing about, a business that all I knew was just like get in shape, help others, get paid to do it. And we've struggled, Dave and I think that's the one thing that we have in common is we've struggled over the years with each other. Our struggle, our success has not been this rocket. We've gone our ups and downs and we've had our moments of doubt, but we've stayed true. I don't know, Dave, if there's ever a time where you thought about quitting. I know I had a few of mine. I don't know if it was like when you were unemployed or there was no money coming in. Do you have I made a mistake type moment in this business where you were going to get out or thought about getting out?
Yeah, if anyone says those thoughts haven't entered the mind, I think they're not telling the full truth. There's been lots of times where I'm like, is this really going to work? am I doing the right thing? Maybe I should just look somewhere else. But every time a thought entered my mind, I kept looking towards the company, the business, the results that I've gotten, the fact that I love Beachbody's products. I love the network marketing, connecting with other people, the personal growth for me. Doing personal growth for Beachbody has actually helped me in my outside life get a promotion in my real full-time job. So I think that's a huge part of this company is the personal growth and always growing. So yeah, there's been times where I've had doubts, but if you're always looking forward, and there's two things with people who don't have success and people who do have success. People who don't have success are always looking back at yesterday. They're always wondering if I could have done something different. What should I have done? People who are on the growth to success are always looking forward and saying, how am I going to get there? I know I'm going to get there. What do I need to do? They're always looking forward. So that's what I've always tried to do, and I think that's why we're still here.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so again, you guys are in the right spot. You are with some of the best coaches in the network who are committed to your success if you commit to your success, right? We're, as coaches, as leaders, we don't give any more than what you're going to give to yourself. So just keep that in mind as we go forward and as you're working with your leaders and you're working with your team and you're developing people. That's one thing that we stress and that we teach. What we do when we're going to do these calls and what I do on our team vision calls, we want to make sure that we recognize coaches who are building, recognize coaches' successes. And we also want to recognize some coaches' struggles too. So I'm going to go into the Brady Bunch mode of the camera for the recording purposes. And this is the time I want to make sure, because normally I do this on Thursday when the week has ended and all the recognition and rank advancements have come up. But I want to open it up to the floor. I'm going to do my best to call on you for any achievements that you've had this past week. If you're going to rank advance, obviously it won't happen officially until tomorrow, but if you're scheduled to rank advance, Emerald, Ruby, Diamond, Star Diamond, make sure you give recognition for that. Or if you have a personally sponsored coach who's going to rank advance, if you've personally sponsored any new coaches, you want to make sure that we give them a shout out. If you've already qualified for Success Club 5 and 10, or you have a coach who's qualified for Success Club 5 and 10, give them a shout out. And what's the last one? No, I don't have PV. PV we're not going to do today. Simply, I'm going for my coaches, I'm going to record PV for tomorrow, simply because it's not official yet today. But if you have, I said personal sponsor coach. I should have wrote this all down. It'll come to me because that's how I operate. So this is the time. I call it toot your own horn, toot your coach's horn. If you have, or if you sold your first challenge pack, that's the other thing. That was it. If you sold a challenge pack, your first challenge pack, on whatever it is, or first sale, doesn't matter. We want to give recognition to that too. So if you have any of those, unmute yourself. I'll call on you, and we'll give a shout out. And I think Shelly has unmuted herself. So Shelly, all you. Shelly muted herself and disappeared. So that was not true.
Okay. I'm on my phone. I've never done this before from my phone. Sorry. I will speak. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see me?
Well, we see a picture of you and Chris.
Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry.
Bandwidth.
Okay. My coach, Brianna, has sold, I believe, 4 challenge packs. So I just want to give her a shout out. She's only been a coach for about a week and a half. So she's just on fire and really helping lots of people, and I'm proud of her.
That's awesome. So she's Success Club 8.
Yep.
Fantastic. Who else? Natalie.
Yeah. Which Natalie?
One of the tracksuit.
Oh.
Lady swoosh.
Oh no, that one.
Oh, she freaked out. Natalie.
Which Natalie? There's two. Is there 2 Natalies?
I think it's you. Dave, help me out.
Hey, Natalie. Yeah.
That's my coach, Natalie.
That's for sure.
I thought there was another Natalie too.
Oh, I don't know.
How do I? Am I unmuted?
No, you're good.
You're great. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hi.
I signed up a coach today.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Your very first coach?
Very first coach, yes.
Fantastic. Congratulations. That is so awesome.
And I've been doing Regina. I don't know how long have I been doing it. It's been like 5 weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah, I mean, doing it or really doing it.
I don't know. Like,
You just joined Coach Basics this month,
yeah. Okay.
and she signed her first coach and got 4
That's
successful points.
6 challenge packs.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great job. We're going to go to Michelle.
Oh, Christine. Yeah.
Michelle, I don't know if it's there. Let's go to Christina Graves.
Hi there.
Hello.
I want to give a shout out to my brand new coach, Jen DeCook, and she's just sold her first challenge pack.
I love
Yay,
it.
Jen.
Awesome, Jen. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thanks.
Lauren Christie.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to unmute.
No worries. You got great ceiling. Kimberly iPad. Kimberly, I don't know if it's there. Brian and Aaron.
All right, I'll give a shout out to Erin, my wonderful wife. She just sold her second challenge pack earlier this week, and I have already hit Success Club 5 for this month. Oh, here she comes.
Yay! Hey, Dave and Regina, we are going to visit Aaron and Brian the first weekend in June. You guys should fly up and meet us.
And write it off for
And
Beachbody.
write it off. It's a business trip. We're going to have a business expense. Seriously. This is why one of the reasons why we do this business, guys. Right off visiting our friends.
Everything.
It is a nice bonus.
I got some really cool tips for you guys I learned this past week, too, about what you can deduct. We'll talk about that on a different call. Who else? Any other shout-outs? Fingers crossed, I'll give my shout-out. If all my math is correct, again, I could be off by a week, but if all my math is correct, I should be officially 3-star diamond tomorrow. That's what I should hit.
Very nice, Joe. Very nice.
Very nervous about it because Dave is qualified. You're still qualifying 3-star, Dave?
Yeah, 4 more weeks.
It is stressful. It is very stressful because you're just watching. And again, just to kind of talk about that, rank advancement is a true team effort. When you get to the diamond level, any rank advancement beyond diamond is because of your team. It's because you have helped leadership grow and prosper. So that's when I hit this tomorrow, that is just a huge shout out to all my every single one of my coaches on my team. And Dave is my very first diamond coach. So that snowball wouldn't have started if it wasn't for Dave. So I'm super pumped for that. Maybe Brian Smith will be my 4th or Jason Olson. It's neck and neck between those two. But is there anyone else you want? Oh, Lauren, is that your baby? Hello.
Lauren, can you put that baby
Members
closer?
of the family.
Put that baby closer. I need a baby fix. Oh, look at it.
Hello.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Awesome. So we're going to throw it back over to Regina and Dave, who are going to talk about tonight's topic. And then after that, we're going to open up for Q&A depending on time. But Dave and Regina, back to you guys.
Okay, I actually have one more recognition too. It's for my coach, Allie, who has stepped way outside of her comfort zone, and she has posted mini videos on topics for a week now, over a week. So posted them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and everything. So I'm very proud of her for doing that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so anyways, to kind of go off of why we're doing these calls too, many of us are on John Maxwell's leadership training calls for the 12 months. So we had our first one last month, and he goes over multiple points to work with your team and yourself in your everyday life. And we came together with the coaches who were on the call, and we wanted to talk to our teams about certain topics to help us grow and learn and develop and just become better overall. And so one of the topics we wanted to cover was kind of going outside of your comfort zone. And I mean, that's a huge spectrum to cover. We've been covering it a little bit in our diamond groups and our regular groups, but one of the things that came to mind, though, like one word that came to mind was pushy. And immediately I thought like comfort zone and pushy go together, because I had like 4 coaches message me last week and they're like, I just feel like I'm being pushy. I don't want to be pushy. And I'm sure you guys will get that word thrown at you if you haven't already thrown it at your coach or your team before yourself. And I just wanted to kind of talk about it in general. Like, for me, I guess when someone says that I don't want to be pushy, I immediately go back to them. Like, do you really think you're going to be pushy if you message them again and ask them to commit to your group one way or the other? Is it because you're afraid of what they're going to say, or is it because you really think you're being like annoying? And usually it comes back to fear. Like, people are just afraid that someone's going to either say no or not respond. People hate when you don't get a response. And so we just wanted to kind of share like what we do when we hear that word from our coaches, and some ideas that have helped us overcome us even feeling pushy, like when we send messages. And so I know like one thing that's worked for me is I'm always messaging with a purpose. It's not just Beachbody related. So my intro to the message is always like, how are the kids? I know they were sick the last time we caught up. The bug was going through your house. Is everything going well? And then it goes into, you mentioned you wanted to join my challenge group that's starting in May. Do you still want to get on board, or, are you set back from everything? So you just always kind of want to make sure you're coming from a good place. And I think when you do that, that pushy feeling is going to go away, because you are genuinely like caring for somebody. So how can you really be pushy if you're caring for them and their family and their life, and the fact that they wanted to get healthy in the first place? So that's one thing I do. I mean, do you mind to share a little bit what you do or what you said?
Yeah, I think, and I felt pushy, and the reason I feel pushy before is because I am so tied to the result of them saying yes, that I get overwhelmed, and I want them to join the business so bad and say yes. And so I'm constantly following up, and I feel like I'm pushing them. And so what we have to do is take a step back and realize what our purpose is sharing and education. Okay. And frustration only comes in because of the point where you see yourself today versus where you think you should be. And it's a distance between those two views is when you start feeling frustrated, and then you feel like you might be pushing people. So if you always come across with the intention of sharing and education, and one thing that's really helped me has changed my whole business, really. And it's one sentence, and we talk to our coaches about this all the time. Have you ever considered, and we learned that from Janelle Summers, who's now she has 3 business centers that are 15-star. Have you ever considered, and I posted a screenshot in our coach group with that exact phrase, have you ever considered joining a challenge group, or have you ever considered being a Beachbody coach? You're so motivating. When you do that, I actually got 5 no's last week, but they said, no, I have not considered it. So it's not a true no, I don't want to. It's just, I haven't thought about it. Or, yes, I have thought about it, but can you tell me more? So have you ever considered? It's a magic phrase.
Yeah, and I just think like people, we get so nervous. We think that if someone's going to say no, let them say no. At least it's better than, not knowing. So I like the point of don't be tied to the result. It's just trust that what you're giving and what you're offering is going to help change lives. You really have got to believe that. You really do. Every single time you send a message, you have to go in with the intent that you have the possibility to change their life, whether it's just completely on a transformational fitness level, or they join as a coach and everything changes from their finances and their time freedom or whatever it is. You are giving a gift to these people.
And I'll add to that is it just happened to my sister. And in the last 2 months, it's happened to me 3 times. My high school friends have all become coaches on different teams because I never reached out. I never simply asked them if they wanted to join a challenge group, if have they ever considered being a coach. And 2 of the ladies that joined different teams said, yeah, a friend I met online just asked me if I wanted to be a coach, and I thought it was really cool, and I joined. So never be afraid, because the answer might be yes. Do you have anything else?
Can I add a couple things? I was taking notes while you guys were talking, and thoughts are coming to my head. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that Dave and Reg hit on. Like, Dave was no, right? When I first introduced him to Beachbody and the opportunity. And so a couple things too. It's just I love the don't get tied to the outcome. And the outcome of it can build up so much that keeps you from doing it. But even if you ask, the asking and waiting for an answer can keep you from asking someone else. And so what we end up doing is we end up talking to the same 10 people, right? You can end up talking to the same 10 people 100 times, or you can talk to 100 people once. And take that philosophy, take that idea, and make sure when you have gotten that courage to ask. In the meantime, while you're waiting for a response, whether it's yes, no, or maybe, you can be inviting 2 more people, 4 more people, so. And that's why the importance of the list and the tracking comes in. And I love Regina when you're talking about, because I know Melissa's had tremendous success about this too, during the follow-up or during the bridging back to the conversation, asking personal questions, forming still, talking about family, occupation, making it not all about business, making it genuine and sincere. That's really big too, making sure that people know that you're just not about making a sale or challenge pack, that you do care about them. And the last thing I'm just going to hit on that Reg was just hitting on is the belief factor. You have to believe, not just you have to believe in Beachbody. You have to believe that we have a solution for their goals, for their reason why they are even talking to you in the first place. That if they came to you or you went to them, that you believe that we have a solution for their problem, and that our products are the best thing, no matter the cost, because it's worth it, that it's for them. And the same thing with the opportunity. I mean, this opportunity changes lives, and you might still be so new that you don't believe it yet, because it hasn't happened to you yet. Just like when you're so new in the fitness thing, it's like, how do I share fitness when I really haven't lost weight yet? But it's that belief, it's joining around, getting that. And this is, again, where the importance of these type of calls, your team calls, your weekly team calls, the weekly corporate call, any kind of live event, summit, Super Saturday, local training that you can get to, the more time you can invest in just learning about Beachbody and hearing. Go online and watch a success story or fitness transformation story or Beachbody coach training and build your belief in this company. Because again, it's like what John Maxwell teaches is like, I'm headed in that direction. If you want to go with me in that direction, let's go together. But if not, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go. And don't be apologetic for this business. Don't be apologetic for you being a coach, for you being in network marketing, because this is just such an amazing thing. And there are times where I doubt it. I've been doing it for 8 years. And I know the reason why I doubt it is because when I start pulling back from hearing what Beachbody is all about, what Beachbody has to offer. And so that's my last kind of advice when it turns to being pushy. The last thing about being pushy, I'll close on this. Lead by example. Okay? If you're afraid of being pushy, people will follow those who are doing it. Okay? So like my new coach, Dave Remington, who's across the street, I never talked to him about coaching. I told him what I did, but I never invited him because he's my neighbor. And it was just, it wasn't right. I just didn't feel like, hey, Beachbody, be a coach with me. The relationship wasn't there yet, but he saw what I was doing. He was curious, and we just, over time, created a relationship, created conversations, started asking, started talking about it, started sharing more and more. I'm like, I'll send you some information. I sent him the Introducing Team Beachbody. I got him on a call. We talked more, and eventually he signed up. It took him some time, but I was never like in his space. I was building my relationship with Dave. I was becoming friends with Dave. So he made it comfortable and knew that no matter what happens, man, we're going to be friends first and then business second. Same thing with my best friend, Brian, who was my best man at my wedding. Same thing for Dave and Red. When I spoke at their wedding and they asked me to read, this is about relationships, and it's about servicing and growing new relationships. And know that we are here to lead by example. And by the example you set, whether you're sharing it on social media, people will come to you and ask, what are you doing? So don't get over the posting thing too. Get over the fear of posting. Dave, you wanted to, I can see you want to add. But that's it. And like, how do you guys want to tie it all up?
I think I was thinking pushy too. When we think pushy, we're always thinking, I guess some people are thinking, I don't want to be pushy with my challengers or people who are joining my groups. But also I think there's coaches who are afraid to be pushy with their own coaches. Yeah. And I have had coaches say, I just don't want to be pushy. I don't want to push them too hard. And there is something to be said about you as a coach having your own vision that drives you forward in this business and really being pulled versus pushed. I mean, that's a whole nother topic for another time. But if you have people on your team who you see potential in, you need to reach out to those people and you need to ask them to talk to you about why they're doing what they're doing again, what their goals are as a coach, and if they have what their hesitations are that are holding them back. Because that's not being pushy. That's you trying to figure out how to work with them closer and get them to see their vision and build on it so that you don't have to keep pushing them, and you don't have to feel that way. Like,
can you repeat those questions, Regina, again?
Go on the record. What did I say? What's your vision? Why are you doing this?
What's your goals?
What are your goals as a coach? And what's holding you back? What fears do you have? Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have it twice on the recording.
Yeah, don't be afraid. I mean, there comes a point when you have to know as a coach that it's time for you to kind of like give your coaches space and let them meet you halfway. But there's, especially in the beginning, there's a time when when you see the potential and they possibly don't see it yet for themselves, that you have to kind of guide them to a certain level and know when you've done enough.
Love that. Awesome. Do you guys want to open it up for discussion, Q&A type thing? We go with it? And what we'll do, team, as Q&A, we'll just do the whole Jeopardy unmute thing. If you unmute, that means you have a question. So if you don't have a question, go ahead and self-mute. That way I'm not calling on you. But if you have questions for Dave and Regina or just a general question, it doesn't have to be about tonight's topic, we want to make sure that is service to you as well as so Shelly, do you have a question? No. Okay. Questions. Natalie was unmuted before I said. But
Nope.
Natalie, do you have a question?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Kimberly's iPad.
No, I don't know how to unmute. Sorry.
It's all good.
Brian and Aaron.
Brian and Aaron.
All right, I have a question. So we had wrapped up our first challenge group last week. Second one has started, but now people are starting to get their reorders for Shakeology, and I'm getting a lot of, wow, that's really expensive. I want to drink it, but $130, like, I don't know, that seems like too much. So what's the best way to approach it? I try to break it down like it's $4 a day. So think of it as your morning coffee. I mean, I don't know what, I just want some pointers there.
Right?
What's happened with you?
Who?
What do you always say?
If you can't afford it, then you need to be a coach.
Yes.
If you can't afford it and you love it enough, then be a coach.
Right. Well, that's how I approached it with the one guy. I was like, listen, I could show you how to save the $15 a month. So I have to call him tonight, but.
And you always say compared to what? When you always get that, you like compared to what?
What?
When someone says Shakeology is expensive, you say compared to what?
Oh yeah. When someone says Shakeology is expensive, it needs to be compared to what? Because most people are comparing it to a protein shake they buy in the store for $50 or $30.
Right.
And so they don't fully understand it yet.
And just look at the total lump sum too, like what Brian said. He breaks it down. They're not looking at what it costs per week, and then what Regina talked about in the pushy thing too is revisit the goals, revisit why they were interested in the first place, and revisit benefits. How are you feeling? Have you noticed any changes? Going backwards, is that an option for you? Because going off Shakeology is going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I get a lot of that. I get a lot of people to say, I don't know what they're putting in Shakeology. It must be crack because I stopped getting it and I need it now. And so it's just, I think too, Brian, are they have a potential to be more than just a discount coach?
Well, so this guy that I had this conversation with last night, or we were texting last night. I said we'd talk tonight because it was midnight and I really need to go to bed. So yes, he is. It's a guy that he's over 4 bills. So I'm really trying to work with him because he has told me his history where he used to be in amazing shape. He used to be a biker. You know, he used to love being able to do those things. Now he can't. We were just in Florida for a family vacation. Aaron's entire family, he couldn't walk down the beach. You know, it's like he's telling me the reasons why he wants to get back in shape, and I'm trying to help guide him there.
How old is he, Brian?
Yeah, early 50s.
How is your relationship?
I mean,
can you speak frank to him?
Yeah, I could probably speak pretty frank to him.
Speak candidly. If you know this dude and he, again, belief, you know it, because look at your damn transformation. You've done it twice now. You believe in the products. You know they work. I know there's no wavering in your belief for the programs and the product.
Thank you.
If he's 4 bills and he's complaining about cost, be freaking ruthless and dramatic. Dude, how much is a funeral going to cost your family? I hate saying it like that, but you're 400 pounds, 50 years old, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. What's the cost of a funeral? What's the emotional toll to your family when you die at 55 years old?
Right.
This isn't, guys, I'm getting fired up here when we talk about belief. This isn't something that we're just selling to sell it because it's on TV. This is life-changing, life-saving stuff. And if you don't have the balls to talk to someone, frankly, especially someone you have a relationship with, about the impact and the changes Shakeology and exercise can do for them, how much does prescription drugs cost? Is he on prescription drugs? You know what I mean? Like, what's the copay on those things?
Right.
Again, we can compare it to dinner out and be like, oh, well, cost of Shakeology is a nice night out with your wife or movies and break it down. But when you're talking to someone who's like, seriously, morbidly obese, who used to have this life, it's like, what is that life worth to you? Because seriously, if you die, you're not going to be able to mountain bike. You're not going to have these things. And again, this is my red color coming out now. So you're going to say it very differently than how I would. But when you here's the other thing too. Ask for permission. Like, man, do you mind if I speak candidly to you about this? Because I love you. And again, we talked about this in our small group. You say it with love. You speak truth with love, and you let people know. Like if you don't stick around, that's all. That would be my, especially with this guy who I know you and I spoke about in the past.
Yeah. No. I mean, what you just said is really, really how I'm going to approach it, and that's how I've been running through ideas in my head. And that's a good point. I'm going to call him tonight and I'm going to approach it that way with him because I can. I feel
I think he knows. I think he might just also be saying, hey, it's expensive. I didn't realize how expensive it is. It might not really be an objection. He might just be being like, hey. So, again, feel it out before you start throwing the death shit at him.
Well, I'm going to not throw the death shit at him. I'm going to be like.
Don't throw that shit. Regina, you wanted to add?
Well, I was just going to say, because when I ask someone, for the potential of being a coach. If they want to be like even a fitness challenger coach, this is like the type 2 coach, or a real business builder, I make a point to say, I will work with you in that first month to show you everything you need to do to get your Shakeology paid for and covered. So that's why I wanted to know if you can see him, you know, even just being moderately active as a coach, talking to people. I mean, he's going to be a walking billboard.
Well, that's right. That's the thought in my mind. It's like, I want to work with him to get him to start to lose the weight, because as soon as he does,
people are going to start asking questions.
What's
it
that?
doesn't take much for people to start asking questions in your transformation.
Right. Right.
You're looking great, by the way, dude. Uber fit.
Thanks. I don't even know what I weigh because my kids broke our scale.
We'll buy a new one and save the receipt. Put it on your taxi.
I wanted to break that one too. We're in the process of getting ready to exercise. That's why we're in a workout close.
There you go. Questions? Anyone else? Comments?
That's good.
I have a question.
Yeah, Sarah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I've been getting out of my comfort zone and using that question, have you ever considered, and contacting specifically about, have you ever considered coaching? And so I've done that 10 times over the past week, and I'm following up with people, and I've only gotten like 2 definite no's. I've gotten a lot of not right now, it's a bad time for me because of XYZ. And then I'm in some back and forth conversations with people about, you know, yes, but I'm on the fence. I'm not sure if I have the money, you know, these types of things. So without being pushy, but like that? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. For the people who are on the fence, you need to ask them like immediately, what are your hesitations? Please be completely honest with me. I can take it. What's holding you back? And then for the people who are saying money is an option, we've talked about this before, you are not an option, an obstacle, you need to say, like Joe saying, be frank with them. Well then, okay, I'm getting, like, this is an opportunity for you to change your current financial situation. If this is not going to work for you, then I would like to personally know what are you going to do now that's going to change where you're at 6 months from now. That's what we've been saying to some of our coaches.
If you don't make a change now, what do you have planned?
Right.
That's going to change for you and your family six months from today. You know, and most people don't have anything planned. You know, so we're talking to a potential coach now. She's in the same spot she was last summer, and she said, "I don't have money. I just don't have money. I really want to do it. I really want to do it. I just don't have money." You know, and so that's an option. That's a way you can approach it.
And that's how leading by example works too, because as you continue to grow, even though your growth may look up and down and you're still growing, you're still moving up, and they're staying the same, watching. So again, exposure, letting people know. God, there's something else I wanted to about. That was good.
Yeah, I feel like Regina and Dave need to like put a bunch of blurbs up somewhere that I can just cut and paste. Just kidding.
We do. We'll just put up. Yeah, we don't call them scripts.
I know.
We'll put them. We'll throw them up in Joe's group too.
You can call them anything you want.
Call them Sarah Barker blurbs. Blurbs for Sarah Barker, and everyone will find them in those. But no, the last thing too, what Regina was saying about like what are your hesitations or whatever. I always close people with this too. Give them the out. Let them know. Like Regina was saying, I'm going to work with you for 30 days, and I'm going to if you do everything I tell you, we're going to get your product paid for in that first 30 days. And if I don't live up to your expectation, or if Beachbody doesn't live up to your expectation, and this isn't for you, it's a full 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can quit at any time. After that, you can quit at any time. There's no obligation to keep going. If it turns out not for you, there's your exit strategy. There's your plan out. Because a lot of people Jim Rohn talks about this. A lot of people start things, but they don't know how to get back. They don't have an exit strategy because this isn't for everybody. So let them know there's an out also, because that when there's no risk and no pressure. Some companies give them like 3-day money back guarantee. We have a full month to work one-on-one or in a group with your coach to earn your product. So that helps a lot too, I found.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Time for one more? If there is one more? All right, Dave and Regina, I'm going to throw it back to you and let you guys close us out and say our goodbyes.
Farewell.
Farewell. Okay, so this was really important that we all got on a team call together. I think that it's so exciting when you have coaches start growing and they start breaking off and have their own teams. We still get back together. We share best practices, what's going on. So I want to thank Joe for the last 7 years. It's changed my life physically, personally, with our family, with the financial situation. It's just been incredible. So stick with it. It's going to happen. It will happen. There's no way not to have success with this business if you engage. So thank you very much for being on the team call. I think, Joe, you have
just Dave, I know the next 7 years is going to be better than the last 7 years.
Yes, it will.
That's the truth.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks for being with us.
Bye, everyone.